Yosh! Finally, Nakama, we've got the complete and accurate story of Boruto. 2 Blue Vortex. Chapter 27 right here. The artwork is absolutely stunning, filled with impressive plot twists, especially with Kusana finally being entrusted to Sumaire. And yeah, Nakama, you're right. That Ego Jubi's ability is truly insane, splitting itself just like Madara's Limbo, or even Shibai Otsutsuki himself. Meanwhile, as Jura prepares to make his move toward Konoha, Kashin Koji starts pulling his own plot twist, using his unique jutsu to target Inojin. But what about Himawari's future? Things are about to get pretty interesting. This might just be where Boruto steps into his biggest role yet. So, Nakama, listen closely as we break down everything from start to finish. This is the full, detailed story of Chapter 27. Let's dive right in. Let's go! Oh yeah, so we can keep interacting and making the anime storytelling world even more fun together. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments to keep the vibe going. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 27. The opening scene is absolutely amazing, especially on the cover page. Here we see Inojin with a hawk behind him. The cover design features striking purple and yellow tones, marked with the number 27 and the phrase, risking one's life. That's the theme here. Understanding true justice. Huge thanks to Masashi Kishimoto and Maikyo Ikamoto for this masterpiece. The story kicks off with a compelling prologue. After it's revealed that Sarada and Sumaire are helpless under Omnipotence's influence, they find themselves suddenly attacked by Demon. Look at that Nakama. Demon is still choking Sarada and Sumire. Sarada glances to the side and Sumaire follows. Demon keeps his focus locked on them. Then suddenly, bam. He lets go on purpose. Wait, what's going on? Both girls start sweating nervously as Demon gives them quite the scare. He then says, "Now you understand, right? If I wanted to, I could wipe you out in an instant before you even realize what's happening. Sarada, Sumaire?" Sarada replies, "You're not going to kill us." Ada then chimes in, "Yeah, something about this is strange. Why are you two who aren't Otsutsuki unaffected by Omnipotence's power?" Sarada looks at Ada as she continues, "Is it because your hearts have been stolen by Boruto?" No, that alone doesn't make sense. There are plenty of people both inside and outside the village who like Kawaki and Boruto, yet they're still under my spell. If that were the only condition, there should be others like you two. But you're the only ones unaffected. There's only one logical explanation. I must have subconsciously made an exception for you. Sarada and Sumire exchange shocked looks while Ida keeps staring at them. I think deep down, I wanted it to be that way, and Omnipotence simply granted my wish. Demon looks on seriously. Sumire finally speaks up. Why? Ida answers, "Remember what you said back then, Sarada? Let's be friends. Just like everyone else." A brief flashback plays, the three of them laughing together. "Your words made me really happy, Sarada," Ada continues. "That's all I ever wanted, even before I met you. Maybe it's because we both fell for an Otsutsuki. I don't really understand it myself, but what I've always longed for is a normal human connection like this." Sarada can hardly believe what she's hearing. Ada adds softly, "And right now, I don't feel like you two have any intent to hurt me. Even if you did end up killing me, I don't think I'd mind." Sarada and Sumire both freeze, sweating nervously, with Demon looming behind them. Then suddenly, Sumire gasps as Sarada grabs her hand. The two of them step forward and hug Ida. It's such a touching moment that even Ida herself is caught off guard, while Demon watches quietly. He mutters, "I've never heard of friends who'd risk their lives for each other like this. Ida listens silently as Sarada replies, "This hug is proof of our resolve and of our friendship." Samir nods in agreement, realizing what Sarada means. Friends who'd stake their lives for each other sounds kinda cool, Ida says with a small smile. Thank you, both of you. Demon also smiles, happy that his sister has found genuine friends. From now on, I'll be counting on you, my precious friends, Ida adds warmly. Then the scene shifts to another location, Orochimaru's old hideout. Kashin Koji is there explaining something. One of Mamushi's abilities is self-duplication, he says. Inujin looks surprised. Koji continues, he can split himself infinitely without any limit to the number of clones. Boro reacts, like shadow clones? No, Koji replies, they're completely different. The biggest difference is that every copy of Mamushi is exactly equal to the original. That means there's no division of chakra, power, or stamina. Every duplicate has full strength. Sai listens in disbelief, clearly impressed by the revelation, so he doesn't weaken even when his numbers increase. Yeah, that's seriously dangerous. Definitely troublesome. Then Kashin Koji responded again. However, Shikamaru pointed out that as the number of Mamos increases, their intelligence will drop significantly. Boruto was curious too. Not only that, but their bodies would also become less sensitive to pain, and their movements would grow simpler. That's something they could actually take advantage of right now. Kashin Koji continued speaking, and Shikamaru listened carefully. In other words, letting him keep dividing until he becomes dumb enough and then wiping them all out at once would be the most effective strategy. Exactly. But there's one more important point, Shikamaru said. Make sure to destroy both of his eyes. Once an individual loses its eyes, it can no longer divide. Nojin was shocked to hear that. Still, they needed to be cautious because as their numbers decrease gradually, their intelligence will begin to recover again. That's the terrifying part. So, yeah, the fewer of them remain, the harder they become to deal with. Shikamaru then replied, but if we let them multiply too much, that'll be a problem too, right? Kashin Koji agreed and added, to make things easier, try keeping them between 20 to 30 bodies at most. Just think of it as handling a group of animals. When the right time comes, ideally, you'll want to eliminate them all in one go. Then Shikamaru followed up. That's a good plan. But what if one of the divided mamas stays behind at their base? Even if we wipe out all of them in the village, the one at the base would still survive, right? Good point. Inojin added something like that, and Kashin Koji replied, you don't have to worry about that. Divided individuals naturally have an instinct to stay close to one another. Even if one happens to be far away, it'll instinctively move to rejoin the group where most of the others are gathered. That's just how they work. Hearing that, Shikamaru was surprised too, so that's how it is. Especially since they get dumber as they multiply. Then suddenly, Inojin spoke up. But why do we have to wait for them to attack Konoha? If we already know they're coming, why not strike first before they arrive? Kashin Koji responded, explaining that choosing Konoha as the battlefield was a crucial move to prevent Jura from interfering in this fight. Boruto was still listening carefully. Kashin Koji continued, saying that Jura's real targets were Boruto and Himawari. If those two made a move, Jura would move too. But if the fight happened inside Konoha, Jura wouldn't show up. Why? Inojin asked, still puzzled. For some reason, Jura seemed oddly attached to Konoha. Shikamaru added that Jura had often been seen around bookstores and snack shops, with several witnesses confirming it. Inojin was stunned to hear that. Suddenly, the panel showed the scene clearly. Jura was actually there, calmly eating dango and drinking something while observing the villagers. The townsfolk were curious about the strange monster, but too scared to approach him. Seriously? Inojin blurted out. Then Shikamaru added, I've already ordered the sensory team to monitor him, just in case. But for now, we can only let it be. I've already instructed the police department not to take any action in that area. Kashin Koji then added, Jura will never allow any chaos to break out in Konoha. And Mamushi knows that well, doesn't he? To keep Jura's anger under control, he'll avoid unnecessary destruction in the village. Boruto then commented that even if Mamushi loses intelligence as his numbers grow, his primal instincts, especially his fear of Jura, won't just disappear. Kashin Koji agreed, saying that same curiosity driving him to target Ada will remain. That's exactly why Konoha is the perfect place to face Mamushi without any interference. Then he turned to Inojin and said, Inojin, I want you to learn a new jutsu. Everyone was caught off guard at its own, especially Inojin. Kashin Koji explained, this technique is an upgraded version of your mind transfer jutsu. It will be the key to your fight against Mamushi. That's why I called you here. Inojin was shocked. A new jutsu? He asked. Kashin Koji continued, Mamushi will appear in the village about a week from now, maybe even sooner. We don't have much time. Within 2 days at most, you must completely master it. Inojin panicked. 2 days? I don't even know what kind of jutsu it is. Kashin Koji calmly replied, You can do it. It's a technique you developed yourself to avenge Himawari. Inojin froze, clearly shaken. Even Shikamaru broke into a cold sweat hearing that. Wait, what did you just say? Shikamaru asked. Koji smirked. Your eyes just changed, didn't they? Of course, we'll avoid letting that future happen. But the theories and techniques you gained from that time are extremely valuable. That's what I wanted to remind you. Then, with sudden determination, Inojin declared, Forget 2 days, 1 day will be enough. Boruto looked at him with a mix of surprise and admiration. Just then, the scene shifted to the Hokage's base, where Amado was watching the previous battle between Kawaki and Jura through his monitors. The screen showed Jura using his wood release techniques. Kawaki, standing behind him, asked, So? Did you get any useful information? Amado, his expression unreadable, replied, It seems that attack still affected his body. And that tree he created, it's no doubt a divine wood tree, the same as his own essence. He continued, Not only can it heal injuries, it also serves as a powerful weapon and an incredibly strong shield. Kawaki frowned. So you're saying he doesn't have any weaknesses? Amado sighed. Weaknesses? I'm starting to think he might not even be capable of dying. That statement made Kawaki snap. With my current strength, that's impossible, he said harshly. I need more power. From you. Amado started sweating nervously. Kawaki, that's not what I meant. But before he could finish, Kawaki grabbed him by the collar, his voice cold and threatening. Do you want me to crush your throat right now? Stop talking and just do what I tell you. Amado's face went pale. Kawaki continued, If you want my cooperation, for your daughter, Akibi, then do what needs to be done. Amado's gaze drifted toward a large tube in the room, where his daughter Akibi's body was being preserved. Her existence alone hinted at another potential twist in Two Blue Vortex. Moments later, Kawaki shoved Amado to the ground. Amado coughed and gasped for air. If you push yourself further, your body won't survive another battle like that, Amado warned. You'll destroy yourself before you even face him again. Kawaki glared at him. Don't make me repeat myself. I'll fulfill your wish only after I've eliminated all my enemies. You want to see your daughter again, don't you? Then get ready. Either I kill every last one of them, or I die trying. You have no other choice. Amado stared at him seriously, realizing Kawaki meant every word. Meanwhile, at the OKG headquarters, tensions were rising. The chaos that unfolded in the previous chapter had carried into this one, shaking everyone involved. Kobu spoke up, saying, Just like I mentioned before, I was the one interrogating Boruto under direct orders. However, that interrogation proved nothing. Kobo, the assistant to the daimyo, pressed Konohamaru further. That's exactly what a real spy would do. Act naturally to avoid suspicion. That's why we called you here, Konohamaru, to dig deeper into the truth. Konohamaru finally responded, "During that interrogation, I genuinely despised Boruto. But honestly, you all need to listen carefully right now. On the contrary, I actually feel something off about him, the one they describe as a rebel. Look at that. I, the leader of the Anbu, listened to him, and even Kobu responded. I don't know what he planted inside your mind. Don't you realize you're just being used, Sarui? And to make things worse, how could you even say something like that in this situation? Don't you understand your position right now? Sarutobi Konohamaru, being stubborn is fine, but this one's just plain foolish. He's not the kind of person who could ever be a spy." Then Kobu added, "That means someone else must have helped Boruto escape." As the conversation went on, suddenly a voice echoed inside Konohamaru's mind. "Konohamaru, it's me." Answer without making a sound, Konohamaru was startled, glancing around as he tried to stay calm. "Eighth leg here. I don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point," said Kamaro. "Stay calm and listen carefully. I was the one who helped Boruto escape." Konohamaru was stunned, realizing the shocking truth in Kamaro's words. That's when suspicion started creeping in. His movements had been odd lately. Kamaro continued, "I gave Mitsuki the code password so he could unlock his restraints. Right now, I'm working with Boruto on my own free will." Konohamaru froze. "But why?" he asked. Kamaro replied, "You should already know why. It's about the Bogadama. Get out of there now and wait for my next orders. Move quickly if you understand." Konohamaru remembered Boruto's angry words back in Sonogore, the arguments they'd had. Maybe it was only a matter of time before everyone found out what he had done. "Konohamaru Sarutobi, I'm sorry if this sounds one-sided, but please hear me out," Kamaro's voice continued. "I want you to work with us. With Boruto, the one you've known all along. Of course, the choice is yours, but if you can, please trust me. Sarui, I'm asking you. Lend me your strength one more time." Then the scene shifted to Ida and Demon's house. "Oh, it's about time." "I need to get to the lab," said Sumire, standing up quickly. "If that's the case, I'll go too," said Sarada. But Ida suddenly interrupted. "No, Sarada, you have to stay here. We're not done talking yet, are we?" "Hey, Sumire, please help me," Sarada pleaded. Sumire waved her hand and smiled. "See you later, Sar. Have fun, you two." But as she opened the door, to her shock, standing right there was none other than Boruto, the same person who was just seen sitting beside Kashin Koji and Inojin earlier. "Yo, Boruto," Sumire greeted, surprised. Somewhere else, another mysterious figure appeared. Mitsuki, watching the scene quietly from afar. His calm gaze hinted that he might soon become a bridge connecting the return of Orochimaru's legacy. Mitsuki watched as Boruto drew the Kusanagi sword, chakra glowing faintly around it. "Kenjutsu, the Uchiha Hagoromo style," Boruto said. "This technique keeps chakra flowing through the blade constantly to sharpen it and prevent cracks. But I lost focus for a moment and... well, this happened." The sword had a faint crack running down the edge. Sumire looked shocked. "Sorry, class rep," Boruto said, handing her the weapon. "I need you to fix this sword within a week." He then pulled out a scroll. "Take a look at this." Sumire caught it and unrolled it. Her eyes widened. "This technology? It doesn't even exist in our world yet." "It's the research you're working on right now," Boruto explained. "Eventually, it'll lead you to discover this. I can't say more for now, but will you do it? Sumire slowly closed the scroll, still stunned. If I repair it using this tech, the sword might be reborn into something almost entirely new. But that's fine, she said, taking the sword from him. If the sword becomes stronger, I doubt our teacher will complain. Boruto smiled. Sumire nervously wiped her sweat. Alright, I understand. But there's one more thing that needs fixing. Boruto tilted his head. What is it? Sumire clenched her fist slightly. Stop calling me class rep. Just call me Sumire Boruto. Stood silent for a moment as she walked away. You'll see, I'll make it even cooler, Boruto-kun, she said with a grin before leaving. Boruto watched her go, the faint sound of her footsteps fading as she left to repair the kusanagi. Finally, in the epilogue, several days later, atop the Hokage mountain, surrounded by towering wooden walls, a dark presence emerged. Ada, where are you hiding? A deep voice growled. It wasn't just one. There were 5 figures in total, revealed to be none other than the Ego Jubi Mamushi group. Alright everyone, said the real Mamushi. Don't forget to suppress your chakra signatures completely. We can't let the spies detect us, and so the enemy forces had finally arrived, ready to strike. Their goal was clear: stop the rising power and protect both Ada and Konohagakure. That marks the thrilling end of this chapter, packed with twists and secrets. Stay tuned for the next one, dropping on November 19th at 10 a.m. exclusively on Manga Plus. Wow, that's really interesting, Nakama. Thank you so much for sticking with the story till the end. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.